If you're a subscriber to him, let me know. Honestly, I love that. I love his YouTube. Ah, see? Technology. So wild. Anyway, today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm just going to take you around the room. So, from this room, I run this YouTube channel and I run an Amazon business, which I haven't talked about much lately, but we'll get into it a little bit today. So, let's take a look around. So first of all, we did a video not too long ago talking about the Anycubic Cobra 3 Max, and I was having some issues with it. It had actually started having problems. It was having an issue doing fuzzy skin. It would, like a 24-hour print that I had fuzzy skin on, it actually crashed and just completely locked up, had an error on the screen. I exported the logs and I sent them to Anycubic. In that process, we were talking to them about that problem, and it developed a new problem. And the new problem was that the bed would not heat when it was forward. If you pushed it back, it would heat, but if you pulled it forward, it would stop heating. And I could tell by the meter I have right here on the wall. So I reported that problem too. So now we have two problems going simultaneously. And we did some back and forth. And in the end, they offered to send me a new heat bed, a new print head, a new cable for the print head, a new main cable, and a new motherboard. So literally, pretty much just sending me a whole new printer for the most part. After a little more conversation, I was shocked that I had actually convinced them to just replace the entire printer. And that's what you're looking at right now. This is a new Cobra 3 Max. And I appreciate Anycubic so much for taking care of that for me, because it was to the point where I didn't really want to turn it on anymore. Like, it was doing some very strange things. And obviously there was a short in the main harness back there. And even though, yeah, I could have plugged in all those parts, I had just bought it in June. It's relatively brand new. So them offering to replace it was pretty cool. I appreciated it for sure. So this is a brand new Cobra 3 Max. And I've had this one for, I don't know, probably 2 weeks now, maybe. And I'm getting caught up on a bunch of those prints that I wanted to do. But on top of that, I'm just putting some hours on it just to see what it'll do. And so far, this one has been absolutely trouble-free. I've been printing on this one pretty steadily for a while, and it's not giving me any problems at all. And I've always really loved this printer. So the fact that I was having so much problems with it in the beginning was kind of frustrating, because I was kind of an advocate for this printer. Like, I really do like it. You know, I said in my other videos, it has its downfalls, but it's all in firmware. It's all in the way they set it up. Like, to me, this isn't a retail type of printer. This isn't the kind of printer you sell to someone that's never had a printer before. This is absolutely a 3D printer for people that are 3D print people. You know, to me, that's what this is. And the fact that they kind of closed the door on Clipper and kind of keeping you from getting in there and messing with it really kind of holds this printer back. It's so much more capable. If they would just say, hey, this is a hobbyist printer, and so we're going to leave Clipper open on it, and you do what you got to do, and we'll support you if the hardware breaks, but if you do some kind of weird crap in firmware, then that's your problem. I think that would have been better than what they're trying to do now. The Cobra S1, with the multicolor. Like, I get what you're doing there. You're going for that kind of consumer 3D printer vibe, trying to go down that Bamboo route, and that's cool. I have Bamboo printers, and I understand the closed ecosystem, but this printer isn't for that. This printer takes a lot of tweaking. I mean, look at the gantry on this thing. It is giant. It's absolutely huge. And if you don't take some time to tweak it, you're going to be issues with You're going to have all kind of issues just because the gantry is so big, and this is a bed slinger. So this really is a hobbyist printer in my opinion. That's just my opinion, obviously. Now coming up, we do have a review of the Infinity Flow. This is the S1 Plus. If you guys know, I already have the Infinity Flow S1 and I use it pretty frequently. It's over here right now on my P1P, and you can see there's only one spool in it at the moment. But I was printing out some stuff last night, and I gotta tell you, I really do like it, and I'm excited to see what the S1 Plus is all about, because the S1 has been a good performer for me. Now, let's talk a little bit about this P1P. And if you guys remember last time, I kind of showed you the whole room. This sitting here was an A1. Now, in a previous video, I told you I bought this P1P off of Facebook Marketplace for $200. It was nasty, dirty, and I wasn't even sure if I was getting a good deal or not. Since then, I've cleaned it up. I've printed a riser. We've replaced some parts down in the bottom there. That accessory fan that was like a puke green, we did it in matte black PETG. Since then, what else have I done? Oh, I replaced the nozzle, and I got a glass for the very top. And then, you know, we built the riser and put the S1 up there. But other than that, none of this has been out of pocket. Like, I haven't spent any money whatsoever other than the initial $200. I haven't laid out any additional cash on the project other than the initial expenditure of $200. So now I have a P1P, but I don't have any place to put it. We all know that the Cobra 3 Max sits here on my adjustable desk. So with that said, I've got a P1P and I've got no place to put it. Like, literally no place to put it. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to sell the A1. The P1P is going to replace the A1. Now that might sound a little crazy because my A1 only had 700 hours on it, and this P1P has, well, 3,000. A lot of hours. But the best I can tell, whoever owned this printer actually took really good care of it. The belts are in pretty good shape. The carbon rods on this machine are as good as the carbon rods on my X1C. So it makes me wonder if they haven't been replaced. I feel like that's a possibility. That's the only thing that makes sense. Those carbon rods don't look like 3,000 hour carbon rods in my opinion. The head is nice and stable. Nothing's loose. It prints amazingly. Let me grab a print here from just yesterday. You can see here, like, it prints very, very nice. So I really have no complaints of the performance, and it just didn't make sense to keep the A1 and keep this printer. So I end up listing my A1 for sale, and I sell it for like $300. I think I paid $339 for it in the original. So to me, amazing. You know, it cost me $39 to keep an A1 for 700 hours. And I took $200 out of pocket for this machine, and it's been a really good performer thus far. But we shall see so far. The X1C, I had an A1 Mini, and that was my first venture into bamboo, and really what I would call my first legitimate venture into 3D printing, because my very first printer was an Ender, and that was a nightmare. So I've had this X1 Carbon for a long time. I haven't checked the hours lately, but if I'm guessing, probably 1,500 to 1,600 hours. I've been pretty conservative using it. I've got, printers I use for commercial purposes. These are my FlashForge Adventurer 5Ms. And I use those for all my commercial jobs. So these printers here, they're really just kind of like for my purpose, for my toy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even do commercial work on this printer. This one here, it pretty much just does little hobby things, and when I need to print big giant parts. That's pretty much what I use this one for. But it's nothing I sell commercially. The only commercial work I do is with the FlashForge units down below. They take care of all my commercial work. Everything else is kind of Roger's toy, if you will. So, but this is kind of a look at the room. I've never kind of given you guys a full on, hey, here's the room. This is a tiny room in my house. It used to be my daughter's bedroom years ago. She's like 30 now. So yeah, she's been gone a little while. So, you know, skateboards on the wall, TV over there. There's the door. Out there's Wife World. Out there's Wife World. And here's Roger World. So 3D printers, my standing desk, my printer. Over here is my mess of a desk. So this is where my laptop, my PCs, primarily keep everything. Vintage boom boxes, old gaming machines. And then when it comes to doing Amazon sales, you can see this mess is kind of where all the Amazon stuff. Now my bubble wrap is typically up here on this bar. But when I'm using the Cobra 3 Max, it does kind of get in the way when there's a lot of bubble wrap. After I take a few feet off, it fits pretty good. But unfortunately, when it's brand new, it's so big, it just doesn't fit up there. So yeah, this is packing materials, boxes, kind of like you name it. That's what this area is. And then I've got my empty spool storage, which I created these. I don't know if I did a video on those, but I definitely put it up on Maker World. I've got another one over here. And it's the same thing. This one holds all my empty bamboo spools. But if you're interested in something like that, I put that up on Maker World. You can check it out. I think it's cool. And then over here, we've got the old, I think this is iArcade. So iArcade kind of went out of business. And then as soon as they did, the community started pretty much just hacking the crap out of all of their stuff. So this machine has got, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 different games from my era. And I turn it on every once in a while. You know, I very rarely play it. I pretty much only do with it is watch it. I'll put it on like Mortal Kombat startup screen and just let it do its thing. But that's pretty much it. This is it. Yeah, this is the YouTube channel, the Amazon, the everything is right here. This is the ceiling fan everyone likes to complain about when I am doing a video. And they're like, hey, turn the ceiling fan off because it makes the lights flash. And like, no one likes that. I'm like, okay, sorry. Didn't realize. But let me try to switch this. Another thing I got recently was this DJI Ronin, which I have right now. This is my marketplace problem, right? So I get DJI Ronin. I was looking at them and I'm like, man, they're expensive. They're super expensive. Let me see if I can straighten this thing. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Got this DJI Ronin and I'm like, man, those things are super expensive. I saw one on Facebook Marketplace, you know, like where I get my printer. And I'm like, I wonder how much the guy wanted $500 for it. I looked it up. I'm like, they could probably do better than that. So I just kind of ignored it. And then a couple days later, it says $100. So I message him and I'm like, hey, you still got that Ronin for $100? And he's like, yeah. So I go meet him and sure enough, here we are with my own DJI Ronin. Pretty cool. But this is, so I have some chargers. This is a charger for my, my Sony, and it charges my Sony batteries. Now typically, excuse the mess, but typically I keep them right up here by my security camera. And you can see at that distance, you couldn't read the screen even if you wanted to, just because it's at a weird angle. So I went ahead and printed this up with just a light fuzzy skin. I love fuzzy skin because it just makes it look better. And then what that does is set that up at a proper angle so, you know, I can actually see it. Let me see if I can set it up on the shelf. I'm not used to this Ronin thing, so. Yeah, so see, now it's at a more readable height for me, and I'll be able to check on my batteries without having to stand on my tiptoes to see what the voltage is. So that's pretty much it. If you guys got any questions, obviously hit me up and let me know. But I always wondered if there's people that, you know, they have a spare room in their house and they're like, I just don't have enough room to do the YouTube thing or to run a business or whatever. Let me tell you, this is it. Because this room is, if I had to guess, it may be 12 by 16. Maybe. And that's maybe. To be completely honest, I'm not 100% sure. I've never really measured the room to know. But just to give you kind of a pie shot here, you can kind of see. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it's not that big. It's not that big. And we still get it done. We still get it done. All right, guys. Well, that's it. So that's the update. A1's gone. P1P has taken its place from the marketplace. I've got a Ronin from DJI, which is doing terrible with camera work, as you can see, but I'm getting there. And then the Cobra 3 Max is fixed because it's a new one. It's a brand new one that's been replaced. But as always, guys, watch this. 1, 2, 3. Hey. I wonder, does this thing show up in the... I don't know. It's the handle. Whatever. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up down below, and I'll get back to you right away. All right, guys. Later. I can't walk away. I'm holding the camera.